Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar by OTT Inc. Our topic today is Dynamics GP Monthly Enhancement Plan option and how it provides Dynamics 365 Business Central licensing options for your organization. My name is Eric Sheehan, and I will be your lead presenter today on the topic. Also joining me today is Ron Peterson, our manufacturing practice manager, and he will be providing a brief overview demo of the Dynamics 365 Business Central solution a little later on in our presentation today. So a few items here related to the webinar. We are recording this and it will be available on our website in a couple of days. All lines are going to be muted during the presentation to eliminate any background noise. If time allows, which it should, we'll take a few questions at the end. With your GoToWebinar box that you should have on the top or the right side of your screen, there's an questions tab. You can enter questions in the question box, and then I'll repeat the question and answer it for everyone on the webinar today. And then at the end of the presentation, I will put my contact information on the last slide, and I'll leave that up so that you may contact me directly for any additional questions or information that you are looking for. So our agenda for this morning is to review what the cloud solution provider enhancement plan renewal offer is. We'll go through some of the top frequently asked questions about the program, and then Ron will give you an overview of the Dynamics 365 Business Central solution, so you have an opportunity to see what the user interface looks like and preview some of the functionality. And then we'll wrap up with talking about what next steps look like if this is some sort of plan that you would like to take advantage of. And then we'll go through an additional Q&A and again, the contact info on the last slide. So the summary of the policy, Dynamics GP on-premise customers that are active on their annual maintenance, which is called an enhancement plan or software maintenance, have an opportunity to renew your annual plan through what's called the Cloud Solution Provider Program, CSP for short, and receive Dynamics 365 Business Central licenses as part of that renewal. Now here at OTT Inc., we are a Tier 1 cloud solution provider, which means we can work directly with you on behalf of Microsoft to do all this licensing and the support and any type of implementation work that would come with that. Price point of the offer has to be equal to your enhancement plan and renewal quote, and we'll get into the details of what that means here in just in a little bit. You do get what's called dual use rights for both your on-premise Dynamics GP solution that you're using today, and also rights for the Dynamics 365 Business Central application in the cloud. It comes with a monthly billing option. So instead of paying lump sum your annual renewal, you have an option to pay that in 12 equal monthly installments. You still continue to gain your enhancement plan benefits, and then you will have Dynamics 365 Business Central licenses available to you once you are ready to migrate to the cloud from Dynamics GP. Eligibility for this particular offer. So this offer is available to all customers that have been licensed on Dynamics GP before June 1st of this year. The customer, or you have to be active on your enhancement plan and within 30 days of your upcoming renewal date. So in other words, you can't be expired or not have an active enhancement plan. And then you'll want to take advantage of this offer sometime on or before your date within 30 days. You must meet and maintain minimum license requirements for Dynamics 365 Business Central, which are equal to or greater in value than your current enhancement plan. And we'll talk about more details of that here in a moment. This offer is available from June 1st, 2020 through June 30th of 2021. It does require a 1-year initial agreement and gives you the option for 2 additional 1-year renewals. So combined duration is up to 3 years. The pricing value of this offer equates to a 60% discount on the standard purchase price of Dynamics 365 Business Central. And again, we'll get into more details about that so you understand it better. So some of the frequently asked questions that have come up since Microsoft came out with this offer is, can you continue using your current on-premise product, which is Dynamics GP, and the version you're on by taking advantage of this particular offer? The answer to that is yes. Because it does offer dual use rights, you continue using your Dynamics GP, and then the licenses that you would get for Business Central give you the opportunity to start exploring the Dynamics 365 Business Central cloud offering and how that might work for your business. So you're not losing any rights with Dynamics GP, you're just gaining some additional license rights for Dynamics 365 Business Central. Next question that comes up frequently is, do I need to take advantage of this offer before or after my enhancement plan anniversary date? And as I mentioned in the summary, you will need to take action on the offer on or before your renewal date, preferably within a 30-day window of your upcoming renewal. So if you are a customer that just renewed your enhancement plan recently, can you still participate in the offer? The answer is yes, but you do need to wait until your next anniversary date. So let's say that you had an anniversary date in May, and you want to, or let's just go back to June because this started June 1st. If you had a renewal date that was in June, you would not be able to retroactively go back and say, I want to participate in this monthly program. What you would do is you would wait till your renewal date in June or 30 days before that of 2021 and then sign up for the actual program. So they're not going backwards in time to give you an opportunity to start enrolling monthly. Are customers able to auto-renew under this offer? The answer is yes. So after the initial 1-year agreement, you have an option to add an additional year or an additional 2 years. You can also decline that you don't want to participate after year 1 because you, maybe evaluated the cloud solution and didn't like it. You thought GP was better for you to stay on at this point in time, or you really like the Business Central and have planned a migration to the cloud application, then you simply would end this particular agreement. Which leads us into expiration. So when the cloud solution provider enhancement plan renewal offer expires, what are your options? There's really 3 options here. 1, you can discontinue your online transition to Dynamics 365 Business Central and simply pay your Dynamics GP enhancement plan and remain on the Dynamics GP on-premise platform. That's one option. Another option is you can continue to renew this offer for up to 2 more years and continue to evaluate the Business Central solution. Or finally, you could do a full transition from Dynamics GP to the Dynamics 365 Business Central application, in which then they would cancel your Dynamics GP enhancement plan because you are no longer going to be on that platform. You have decided to move to the cloud. So what happens after the 3-year offer expires? 3 years is a long time in the technology world. So Microsoft reserves the right to add, adjust, or change any license offers. Microsoft can't commit to what licensing will look like 3 years from now because they just don't know. But Microsoft is very committed to transitioning customers to the cloud. So in today's terms, customers would be eligible for a standard discounted transition of 40% off versus 60% off. So this program we're talking about provides the 365 Business Central licenses for 60% off versus the standard 40%. So what we're saying here is if there's a promotion in play at the end of the 3-year offer, you would be eligible for that particular promotion that's in play at that particular time. Licensing, what is the minimum licensing requirement for customers? So the customer value of your cloud licenses, Dynamics 365 Business Central licenses in this instance, must be equal or greater than your annual enhancement plan renewal for Dynamics GP. So for example, if your annual renewal is $1,200 per year for Dynamics GP, then you must have the cloud solution provider licensing for Business Central that's equal to or greater than $100 per month. So it has to be a 1-to-1 ratio. Another question that comes up is, am I buying licenses for Dynamics 365 Business Central plus paying to renew my Dynamics GP enhancement plan? So in other words, is Microsoft trying to charge you twice? The answer is no. What you are doing with this plan is you are choosing to buy Dynamics 365 Business Central licenses that are equal to or greater than your Dynamics GP enhancement plan value. So let's go back to that example we just covered. If your GP renewal is $1,200, then what you're going to do is you're going to sign up for a Dynamics 365 Business Central subscription for $100 or more per month for those Business Central licenses. That will give you access to the Business Central application in the cloud, and it's also covering your GP enhancement plan renewal, which you then have dual use rights for both software applications. Next question, if you've fully transitioned to Business Central, do you need to maintain the minimum license renewal offer? The answer to that is no. So in that example of $1,200 per year, $100 per month, if you don't require a subscription at $100 per month for your actual users, then you can drop down and there are not any minimum licensing thresholds that are in place. So at this point in time, I'm going to make a transition here over to Ron Peterson, and Ron is going to give an overview demo of the Dynamics 365 solution. So at this point in time, Ron, I've made you the presenter. I can see your screen. Can you hear me, Ron?
I can. I can.
All right.
And looks like I just unmuted myself.
Excellent.
Okay. All right. So we'll take a few minutes and take a look at Business Central. It's a big product, so as Eric said, we're not going to really dive down into anything specific. We're just going to take a look at some of the navigation, the look and feel, and some of the the cool features that pertain to Business Central. So what we're looking at here is of course Business Central, and it, as you may know, it's a true cloud-based system. So the entirety of it is up in the cloud. Dynamics 365 Business Central is a is a role-based system, and everything revolves around the role that you are. If I were to just click over here on the gear icon and look at my settings, I can choose what role that I want to log in as, and how I log in really determines how I interact with the system. So you can see that there are a lot of different roles in here. So whether or not you're in sales or purchasing or in finance or collections, really that's what you choose here is going to determine what you see on your role page. Right now, I'm kind of logged in as a catch-all as a business manager, which basically lets me show sort of the breadth of the system. So I'm just going to cancel out of here. So again, you log in, here is your role page, and there are lots of different aspects to it. I guess the first thing that I want to point out here is this Tell Me icon. So if I click in the Tell Me icon, that's really a shortcut to navigating around the system. As we'll see, there are different sections here that we can navigate to, but we can also just type in items and it will show me everything that has to do with items, service items, regular items, or we can type customers and we can see customer statements or go to customers or things like that. So I may log in, or I may navigate around either through the homepage here or through the Tell Me. So that being said, Business Central is a very broad and very robust product. As I said, we won't be able to dive into it, but I do want to point out that it does have, not only does it have the standard financial modules, GL, AR, AP, but it also has a very robust manufacturing module with capacity planning and material requirements planning. It has a jobs module, and it also has a service module, as well as, of course, distribution. Okay, so what we're going to take a look at here is just a few things. Again, the different sections that I typically want to see are laid out across the top. So if I were to click on finance, then many of the different things in finance would be located in here. And in purchasing, I could go to purchase orders, or I could go to vendors. Down here, just some activities. This is an activity section, and all of these sections here are customizable beyond what you see based on your role. So here are just some key performance indicators that allow you to be more proactive with the system. So we can see here that these activities are showing sales activities, the sales this month, overdue sales invoices, overdue purchase invoices, and they'll be color coded based on the parameters that you set up. So you'll see whether or not those amounts are within the tolerance level, whether or not they're green for good or yellow or red. And of course, as you can imagine, if you click in a number here, you can drill down and actually see what makes up the numbers that are in that. Okay, so the next section here are what we would call cue cards. And these, again, allow you to be more proactive, and they just tell you sort of ongoing things that are happening that you may want to address. So active quotes, active invoices, basically active documents, things that you need to approve. And down here, something interesting called active, my incoming documents. So Business Central actually has an integration tool through Lexmark that allows your vendors to actually email purchase invoices into to you, and it will scan those documents and create the purchase invoice automatically. There's a free limit of 75 or 100 per month, and then there's a nominal fee after that. But it really is a time saver when you don't have to continually recreate purchase invoices. All right, so down a little bit further, we have basically some weblets, key performance indicators. So we have some insights, receivables, payables. We have some favorites, whether or not it's customers or accounts or items, as well as some quick financial statements. We have a very quick trial balance here. And of course, timesheets, if you need to approve timesheets or create timesheets, enter them, you can do that from down in this section here. And I also like to point out that Business Central does have inherent integration into Power BI. It's very easy to set up. In fact, with the free version, all you have to do is navigate out to Power BI website, type in your Office 365 credentials, and it will see that you do have Business Central, if you do, and it will connect it, and it will offer you up some cubes for analysis from sales and items and financials prepackaged. Okay, so so I guess the first thing that I want to do is just so we've talked a little bit about the role page, so we'll just dive in just a little bit here. If I go to finance, we can see different things. We can take a quick look at the chart of accounts. So we can see what we have is a list here of the chart of accounts. And what I like to point out first is with any part of the system, whether or not it's a list or a page or a customer card or an item card or anything, there's what we call this page feature, which allows opening in Excel or editing in Excel. So this list here, and if I just click edit in Excel, it just takes a minute the first time I do it during the day. And it's verifying. Okay, there it is. So what we have here is actually a link from this list that we were seeing to Excel. So I'm actually have the ability now to be able to mass update or singularly update items in this list. So if I needed to update anything from in general ledger or items or sales documents or whatever I needed to do, I could make changes here in Excel and then just simply click publish, and then it would write back to the system. Okay, so drilling in here a little bit into the accounts, if I were to pick an account here. So this is my accounts payable account. You can see that it's you know, compared to GP, it's the main natural account. Business Central doesn't have segments, but it does have something called dimensions. And a dimension is simply just a tag that can be created and assigned to an account, and then wherever you are applying that account, whether or not it's in purchasing or sales or fixed assets or whatever it happens to be, you have the option of applying those dimensions for analysis. So in this particular case, I've chosen a dimension called department, and then during processing, I can assign defaults for a sales department or a production department or administration department, but you can set up as many dimensions as you like for different kinds of customers, departments, regions, really anything that you need to be able to slice and dice the general ledger. Okay, so as far as financial reporting, for example, if you wanted to do in-depth financial reporting, you'd probably use something like Jet Reports, but Business Central has something called account schedules. So for example, if I were to look at this income statement, I could just simply highlight it and click print and preview it. And you can see that this is a income statement, summary income statement, real quick. So I'm going to, oh, it's hiding behind my toolbar there. Okay, but if I wanted to create one that had more detail, for example, I could just simply click new and then could click income detail. Department, and then, oops, and then click up. So this one, detail. And if I go to it, let's say, well, I could start adding my accounts if I wanted to, or I could simply mass add them. And I could add them, I could filter them by, whoops, filter by income statement, and okay. And then click select more and just select all of them. And once I do that, I have all of the accounts here. So once that's done, I could print that. And preview it. And then we have it full detailed here on the left-hand side. So just a quick way to interact with the financial statements here. Okay. All right, so let's see. So the other thing that I want to just point out is if you are, for example, if I'm looking at the chart of accounts here again, there's this filter button here that makes it very easy to be able to manage the list of items that you're seeing. It's really almost like a smart list. So for example, whoops, if I click this, I have access to filters. So I could actually filter this list that I'm looking at here and say, I want to see income statements, and I want to add another filter. And if I didn't see net change, so let's say I didn't care about these that didn't have any net change, and I couldn't find it in the list, I could just start typing net change, and I could say net change does not equal 0. So now I modified this list to just see exactly what I wanted to see. Okay. All right. So again, just quickly, the product has purchase requisitions, purchase quotes that can be transferred to purchase orders, and all that can be done using workflows. It has a very robust workflow module. Whoops. Workflow modules, and we can look at some of the templates that are available, though they can be easily created using the Microsoft Flow technology. And workflows can really be assigned to any window or any process or any field in any window that you want to monitor change or request some sort of workflow on. You can see that there are many templates out here that can be leveraged as well as copied and modified as well. So everything from standard purchase order approvals to price changes, all those good things. So as I had said, the system has a full distribution and manufacturing module, which and an inventory planning module as well. So that's sort of close to my heart. So one of the things that I do like about this system is the planning worksheet. So the planning worksheet looks at everything that's out in the system that's driving demand, whether or not you have jobs or service orders or manufacturing orders or whatever's is driving demand out there in forecasts. And it's going to go out and it's going to help you determine what you need to do to stay on track. So these are all of the things that you need to do. And those are either things like new orders, and I can see here that that was new. And these would be either new, whatever the item happens to be, a new assembly or a new production order or a new purchase order. These are things that you need to create. But also it will say that if there is already a document out there that was created based on a forecast or based on a production order or based on a sales order, and that document changed somehow, whether or not it changed dates or it changed quantities, then it will suggest rescheduling that or changing quantities, as well as if the demand went away, it will also suggest that you cancel those orders. You can rip through this list and manage things that you want to create. Either I want to deal with new items or change items, or I want to cancel items, and you can sort through those using the filtering. And then all you have to do is simply just accept, carry out the action messages. So if you're happy with the orders that it's saying that you need to create, purchase orders, you'd simply accept those and then carry out the action messages, and it would create those orders. So it's a very, very intuitive system for staying on top of things. Well, Eric, I think I'm running out of time. Unless there's anything else you can think of that I should hit.
Okay, Ron, thank you very much for the presentation. I'll switch back to myself as a presenter here. Or actually, if you can, yeah, I can do it from here.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Okay, so next steps, if you are interested in this particular offer, please contact me directly. My email's here, my direct office phone is here, and then we would work with you on what the licensing would look like. And then if you proceed, we would assist you in getting the Dynamics 365 Business Central cloud environment accessible for you, and then we can work on a plan on how you want to evaluate it. If you want to get some of your actual data from Dynamics GP moved up to the cloud so you can work with it and get a feel for how Business Central could benefit your business, we can help you through that entire process. So at this point, I guess, are there any questions? I'm seeing one question here. The question is, does Dynamics 365 Business Central have a CRM module? It has a very light, what I would call CRM module, where you can maintain accounts and contacts, and I believe you can generate a quote to an order, but it's not going to be a system that's going to be good for lead management, opportunity management, marketing, those types of things. So there is a separate cloud application for CRM. It's called Dynamics 365 for Sales. That has many components to it. There's a customer service component, there's a project management component, there's a marketing piece, there's a field service component. So if you're looking for a more robust CRM, we would want to evaluate the Dynamics 365 for Sales solution. And again, I'm not, that's the only question I'm seeing at this point in time. So again, here's my contact information. Also have my cell phone on here. You can reach me at that number as well. But I want to thank you for taking time out of your morning here to join our webinar. And we look forward to any questions that you may have. Thank you and have a great rest of the day.